YUNKJunk!
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tubby Talk Live with Terry Leahy and Chris McGuire from the Tubby Robot Ice Cream Factory.
Hey, everyone.
Our buddy Steve is absent today, so we're going to do a special treat and come to you live instead. Since we are live, I'd love to ask you about how the weekend went, because I know that last we talked, there was a big Reading Terminal event.
Yeah, there was the ice cream festival at the Reading Terminal Market, and it was bonkers. It was filled with everyone in Philadelphia. It felt like we made 400 ice cream hoagie rolls, and we sold out like within 3 hours. So we were busy. I didn't see much of it. I was in a tent. I was in a small 10 by 10 tent and serving. Maybe I saw you there. You know, if you got an ice cream hoagie from me, I hope you enjoyed it. But we actually had one person come back 3 times.
Wow.
They went once, came back, wait in line 3 times because they're like, man, I want another ice cream hoagie.
Now, did you go out there with just like the single product, or were there multiple options?
We went with a single product. We did 4 different flavors. So we had 4 different types of ice cream and then just ice cream hoagie rolls. And you could either buy a 1-pack or a 3-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'm glad it went well. And I would love one of those shirts, by the way.
Oh, awesome. I would love to get you one.
Yeah, that is a fantastic thing. So what we thought is there is a game that is a Miyamoto game, I believe.
That's right.
So we're talking, Mr. Mario himself's dad has another game that he created, and it came out, I believe, on GameCube first.
That's right.
And we are talking about, of course, Pikmin.
Yeah.
Now, I have never played a single Pikmin game, so I thought it'd be fun if we interview Chris, who's a Pikmin fanboy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. I go harder for some other things, but sure, we can say fanboy.
Okay.
We'll just go there.
So Mr. Pikmin himself, Chris McGuire, is going to tell us everything we need to know. Now, I can join you on a lot of this because a lot of people really love Pikmin. A lot of my favorite YouTubers, like Arlo, for example, love this game, and we're super excited to see Pikmin 4. Algorithm. So we thought we'd capitalize on that and talk Pikmin in general. So what was your first experience with Pikmin?
My first experience was with Pikmin 1 on the GameCube. I never owned it on the GameCube, but I rented it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just something really, it's one of those games that could put you in a cozy spot. It's people like to talk about how things just make you feel just safe and soft and warm and fuzzy. And it's one of those games that'll do that. There's something about being like, bringing the camera down to like a miniaturized under the grass sort of level, and tilt shift is happening. Things in the foreground are in focus, and things in the background are completely not. And you're like, but yeah, started playing it, and it's ostensibly a real-time strategy game.
Okay.
Which
you're a huge fan of.
I'm a pretty big fan of, particularly like StarCraft is my favorite.
Yeah.
But this is like taking that sort of mentality and applying it to a console game. And therefore, it's pretty different.
Yeah.
Like, you do not control the individual units in this game. You control one, at least in the first game, Olimar. Captain Olimar.
Yep.
Which is an anagram of Mario.
It is?
Yeah, in Japanese.
Olimar.
Yeah. Mario.
Mario. Oh, my God. Very interesting. And he's a pudgy little fella.
Yeah.
Who is adorable.
Yes.
Is adorable. I just remember him from Smash Brothers. Olimar! Just how he's pronounced there. Not a great Smash Brothers character, in my opinion.
Very tricky.
Yeah. Very tricky. But also, I think a lot of people thought the game was kind of tricky because it's not a platformer. It's not a RPG.
Yeah.
It's interesting, is just kind of what I can say. But what I believe is the conceit of the game is you go to this alien planet, which looks a lot like Earth, and they're just tiny people on Earth, or an abandoned Earth. And there are giant bugs and things that you fight, and what you use to complete missions, let's say, or fight, or water plants, or this, that, and the other thing, are these creatures called Pikmin.
Yes.
And the Pikmin are a Miyamoto creation. He just drew them on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah. And he was inspired originally to make this game watching ants in his garden.
Okay.
Basically watching the ants go back and forth, and they seemingly have a whole lot of coordination. Like, ants will set up supply lines, and they'll move food back and forth. They'll dig out holes. and like he was inspired by that in his backyard, similar to like he was inspired to do Zelda by exploring like the woods in his neighborhood. So very similar place to like childhood nostalgia sort of mining.
Was this a launch title for GameCube?
It wasn't a launch title, but it came out shortly thereafter.
Was it maybe Holiday?
Yeah, I think it was Holiday.
Yeah. I remember it was a big thing, and I remember a good friend of mine, Chris, had one, or had it and really dug it. I think it was a little beyond me at the time that it came out. I also believe it came out before, or I think it came out after Smash Brothers. Maybe before. I'm trying to think.
Similar time frame. I forget which is first.
Because Melee, that was all consuming.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't many other games other than Star Fox Adventures that I played on the GameCube.
Yeah.
But it was a huge GameCube game.
It was. Yeah. It was considered like a new IP, a new tentpole coming out, and a lot of people glommed onto it, but also the GameCube wasn't quite as big as the previous Nintendo system. So
yeah,
only so many people like had an opportunity to play it. But it was there's nothing quite like it. Like, it is one of the most unique games in gameplay, in theme. It's really neat, and each of them has kind of a different flavor. But that first one, there's 3 different Pikmin you can grow. The primary colors, red and yellow and blue, and they all have different strengths and different capabilities. But they're basically plant-animal hybrids.
Yeah, and they're designed only slightly different. Like, one has one flower on its head, one has like 2 things, one has no things.
Well,
I think,
like one has a nose,
right.
one has ears, and the other ones don't. Yeah,
that's right. But it on the outside it seems like a simple game. Is it?
Well, it is simpler than a lot of RTSs in that, like, the control is made for a controller. Like, you're only moving one dude around. But he has command over this tiny army. Then you can get up to 99 Pikmin at once. It might be 100. One of those 2 numbers.
Yeah.
But what was really fun in that game, like just using it with the GameCube controller, there's, you know, the main control stick.
One of the greatest controllers ever, by the way, side note.
But if you want to feel it, you got to play Pikmin 1 on it, because that C stick, everyone's like, it's kind of a weird nubbin. That stick directly controls the wave of Pikmin with you. So, like, you can move them independently of Olimar in that game.
So your left thumb is Olimar, your right thumb is all the Pikmin.
Yeah, and you don't need to use it. It's just for, like, fine-tuning. In fact, they took it away in later games. But
interesting.
What's so satisfying about it is that when they're moving, they play this little, like, like this army, like, little march thing as they're moving around. Oh, yeah,
his little, Olimar's got a little thing on top of his head that turns red, right?
Yeah, he's got a, basically, like, an antenna that he can use to summon the Pikmin.
Yeah. Is that ever explained? Or does he just crash land on a planet and these little dudes help him?
He crash lands. There is a story explanation for, like, why they follow, like, certain. He's like, oh, if I make a signal here, they come follow it. And it's like, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, like the whole thing is done from the perspective of Olimar as, like, crash landing on this alien planet.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how this place works. What am I supposed to do here? And so he makes a log every day. It's like, hey, this is what I learned about Pikmin today. And it's kind of a tutorial as you go along. He's like, I found out that if they get some food and they bring it back, they grow more Pikmin. Like, that's crazy. And then at the end of the thing about the game is also there's a time limit.
Yeah.
Like,
there is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So especially the first game was pretty strict about it. Like, there's a day-night cycle. And when the day is over, you got to go back into space. And any Pikmin that you didn't get into the spaceship before are left on the planet to die.
So is this a game with, like level 1, level 2, level 3? Or is it all one long sprawling story?
It's got multiple levels.
Okay.
Yeah. But it can take multiple days. Like, there's not a set number of days to complete each level. Like, you could spend 5 days on one level and then 1 day on the next one. Like, it's just kind of like however long it takes you.
Dylan, can we see some Pikmin 1?
Pikmin 1 gameplay.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those games where the music
this is interesting.
Is really good.
Well, actually, this brings us right into it. Is this Pikmin 4?
This is Pikmin 4.
Go to Pikmin 1.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, there we go. You're right.
But it does say Pikmin 1 Switch, which is another reason I want to talk about is this was on the GameCube, as were its sequels. I think they were all ported to Switch.
Yes, now you can play all 4 games on Switch now.
Yeah, and this is brand new that you can do it. Are they HD remasters?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they did very little but make them increase the resolution, but they did that.
All right, so there's our hero right there, Olimar.
Yeah, on his spaceship. And he gets hit by an asteroid.
Okay.
Crash lands and has to find his way off. So the whole first game is about reclaiming the pieces of your spaceship.
That's right.
So
I forgot about that.
He can go back home to his family. It's a survival game, really, at its essence.
It's a survival horror.
Yeah.
They should have made a survival horror version of it.
Yes.
Where Pikmin are like lethal zombie creatures, which alludes to later games. So let's talk about this. Pikmin 1, I would think it would be one and done.
Yeah.
But Pikmin 2 comes out. What platform does Pikmin 2 come out on?
Pikmin 2 came out on the GameCube as well.
Okay, so Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 are both GameCube games.
Yes.
What's the difference?
So Pikmin 2 is a whole new story, and it has the addition of Louie, who is Olimar's brother.
Yeah.
So there's
Like a Luigi.
Yeah. So there's 2 characters now, and you swap between them, and that complicates things. But also there's basically the story of the second one, I believe, is that the company that Olimar works for is going bankrupt, and you have to go find things that the company can bring back and sell.
Really?
Yeah.
They went capitalist on it?
Oh yeah, super capitalist.
Well, it's kind of like Alien, right? The Alien, in the movie Alien, Ridley Scott, their purpose is to go out and find things to mine, I believe. I think it's a mining vessel. So probably some inspiration there.
Certainly.
So we can see up on the screen. Well, there's a little cursor. How does that work?
So the cursor moves around with the main joystick.
Okay.
And really Olimar's following the cursor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of point and click. That reminds me of I guess Warcraft was the first one that I played.
Yeah.
That was kind of like that. So it is point and click. So has this ever been emulated?
Oh yeah, it's
To
emulated.
go like on computer and mouse clicks?
Yeah.
Does it work? Have you played it?
I haven't played it like that, no.
I wonder.
But what I did play, they ported this to the Wii. And you
Okay.
can play they called it New Play Control, Pikmin 1 and 2, and you can use the Wii Remote's pointer, and
Okay.
it works amazing on that.
Interesting. Here, Dylan, show me a little bit of Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2, I introduced a second character. I believe there were more Pikmin too.
Yes, it added. So
Wow.
the first one had three colors.
Yep.
And the second one added 2 more, I believe. The purple Pikmin and the white Pikmin. The purple Pikmin are big chunkers who are super strong. They can lift 10 times what a normal Pikmin can. They're good at fighting. They're good at everything. And the white ones are poison.
Poison.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Pikmin 2, the colors, there's a white one and there's a purple one now?
Yeah, that's an illusion actually right there. I never noticed. But yeah, the logo right there is, hey, white and
Oh,
purple.
and underneath is the red.
The blue and yellow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is
layers.
Crazy. There's physical layers. Here, Dylan, throw me in like the middle of it. Because this is like a walkthrough. Just give me, here we go. All right, so
you got Olimar walking around. He's got a whole bunch of blue Pikmin with him now. And you see, it says, so the blue ones can
Well,
go
they
in
all
water
just
without
died.
dying. Yeah, so they just attacked this thing and killed it. And you see, actually, the souls, the ghosts, float up every
did that
time you
happen
kill something.
in one?
Yes. So you fought things, and you see when he dies, I always thought that was fun and morbid, the soul flying up. And if the Pikmin die, same thing happens. Little tiny Pikmin souls fly up.
So Pikmin 2 is very much a true sequel, as in like they didn't upgrade anything, they just added depth, it sounds like.
Yes.
Including Louie.
Yeah.
So was it 2-player?
I believe there was a 2-player mode in it. I didn't play it. Pikmin 2 is the one I have the least experience with.
Okay.
But I believe there was some 2-player in that.
So both of these came out on GameCube, huh?
Yeah.
And were well received. I mean, people liked Pikmin. There were player's choice versions of these, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's like a mark of a big game.
Sold 1 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? And
That's
they give
what
it
it
the little
was.
gold player's choice thing?
Yeah. It's like 1 million, and we'll sell it again.
Yep. And these were on tiny little GameCube discs.
Yeah.
So, all right, if this is the one you had
And that's
there's
Louie.
Louie.
Yeah, that's Louie right there. So you can swap between the two of them, and so
Do you swap? Are they in different
they can be in
areas of the
different-
map?
Yeah. So it gets more complicated pretty quick right there.
Yeah.
And right now, yeah, you're seeing like, so he's holding a disc. It takes 10 Pikmin to carry that disc.
Oh, I was going to ask what do the numbers mean.
Yeah, so it basically says how many are carrying and how many need to carry it. And if you have more than enough carrying it moves quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like the gameplay boils down to you're finding resources and trying to figure out which Pikmin are best to carry them, and then trying to grow more Pikmin and fight enemies. Really scavenging.
So what makes it fun as opposed to repetitive?
So every level is like a set of fun puzzles.
Okay.
And you need to figure them out because it'll be like, hey, there's this place, there's a big lake. None of the Pikmin can cross except the blues.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to leave all the other ones here, bring the blues across, figure out how to make a bridge for the other ones so that they can come across, so that they can fight this fire thing that only the red ones can fight. It's basically all the levels are designed to really test you on your knowledge of like how each of the 5 Pikmin work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And do you remember the time where a lot of people playing Pikmin? Like, was it something you could talk to other people about?
You could talk to other Nintendo nerds about it, but I wouldn't say it was mainstream.
I would agree with you. I don't think it ever jumped over the hump. Maybe now. I know people are excited. To me, it's like the Nintendo game right now is what's the one with the squid?
Splatoon.
Splatoon. I would think Splatoon and Pikmin are in a similar world where I don't know. Do many people care about Splatoon?
Actually, Splatoon's way bigger.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Look at me. I've been out of the game.
Splatoon's got just like a whole community around it worldwide.
Yeah.
Japan's crazy about Splatoons, particularly. Like,
okay.
That's to them like as big as Smash Brothers.
And that's what?
Yeah, it's huge there.
Really?
Yep.
So that's another Nintendo original, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. Well, I think they're cute and adorable.
And that's a whole bunch of purple ones up there now.
And that's clearly Princess Peach's crown.
Yeah.
So, do we ever see any of the other Nintendo characters interact in Pikmin, or is Pikmin its own thing?
So it's kind of its own thing, and it's left ambiguous as to like what planet you're on, but there's lots of earthly sort of things on it. And, I know one of the original theories was that this is post-apocalyptic Earth.
I've heard that theory,
like,
and I believe it.
Yeah, there's just like remnants of human stuff, but there's no humans.
But also, like, okay, this is great that we're looking at actual gameplay footage. You could see kind of this is a feeling of smallness is throughout the whole thing, and clearly that's very intentional.
Yes.
Like, these are little itty bitty people, and like the way that it looks is itty bitty. This is also beautiful.
Yeah.
It is very, we really didn't see much like this, I don't think, prior to this. What do you think this was inspired by any games, or you think this is a wholly original thought?
I think it's wholly like inspired by nature, particularly. Like they're just like looking at small things. I want to get that feeling of a kid looking down at ants. And
it feels like we're under a microscope.
Right. And it's very different from other games at the time. Like, you'll remember this time was like very much grim dark.
Yeah.
Military shooter, everything's grays and browns, and then this came out.
It was Max Payne and this.
Yeah. and you play this, you're like, well, this is nothing like Max Payne.
Right. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so didn't have too much experience with Pikmin 2.
Not a ton.
Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3 is my favorite. Yeah.
Wow.
So Pikmin 3 came out years later on the Wii U.
Uh-huh.
And
okay, so let's stop right there.
Yeah.
So this is a platform that most people didn't even have. There was no Pikmin on Wii?
So they ported Pikmin 1 and 2 to the Wii, but there was no original Pikmin on the Wii.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it felt, though, like once they ported it over, that it was made for that platform because of the pointer.
Yeah.
The nunchuck and the Wii remote were like the perfect thing to play that game.
And I'm just curious. Wow, look at that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is the first one, being on the Wii U, the first one that's in HD.
Look at that.
And it's beautiful. Like, even now, like, this is, back then, people were like, oh, the Wii U's underpowered. This looks great.
That is incredible. So this is a game they should have shown during the demo of the Wii U, probably.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, look at the depth and it's you know what it is? For me and the filmmaker side, that it's a macro lens.
Yeah.
Everything's under a macro lens, which is wild. And look at all the movement and stuff. Okay. I'm going on. Yeah. Why was Pikmin 3 the best one or your favorite one?
Well, Pikmin 3 was even more narrative focused. So you start with 3 completely new aliens. Like, they're the same species as Olimar, but they don't know Olimar. They're just a group of 3 that crash landed. So,
is that one of them?
Yeah, that's one of them. That's Captain Charlie.
Wait, are they from Olimar's planet?
They are from Olimar's planet.
Okay.
But they don't know him. So they crash land on PNF 404.
Okay.
The same planet, which is really a web design kind of joke.
Yeah.
For 404, page not found. Planet not found in this case.
PNF. Oh my God.
Yeah, planet not found 404.
That is awesome. That is a wonderful joke. That's my favorite. That's why I love Nintendo. Nintendo is adorable in a way, you know, like everything is, it's very, Nintendo's very much what Disney is to, you know, children's entertainment. Nintendo is like, they're going to come out with something great and imaginative. And Nintendo always does it too. And this is, you know, fortunately this came out on the Wii U.
Yeah. Yes.
I can't believe that. I honestly am having trouble understanding why they would skip the Wii.
Yeah, I think this took a long time to develop, and a lot of it, really, it does play to the Wii U strengths. It's one of the best, like, native Wii U games because it uses the gamepad. It's a great map.
Let's take a little side quest here. The Wii U itself, was kind of brilliant in conception, maybe not in execution.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the marketing. Like, it was marketed terribly.
Marketing was
the downfall.
Definitely the worst part of it.
Yeah, it should not have been called the Wii U.
No.
That was the big mistake. Because at the time, Nintendo DS is the biggest handheld, would go on to be the biggest handheld ever. Why not just like, you know, the at-home DS or Super DS or DS64 for Christ's sake?
For them at the same time, the Wii was the most popular home console they had ever had. And they were like, well, we want to build on the Wii brand.
See, the thing of it, though, is the DS had already introduced us to map on the bottom screen, play on the top screen.
Right.
Or inventory. And this was, you know, the ultimate, like, inventory machine. Not used as well as it could have. I still don't understand it because I like it in theory.
Yeah.
I got all my controls and I got my map right here. How did Pikmin 3 use its power?
So Pikmin 3, like, the big thing with Pikmin 3 is like, now there's 3 characters. It went one up. So that's kind of an obvious evolution from the second one. But at the same time, for the first time, you could use the map and select a character and say, hey, go to this place, touch it on the map. And the person would just go. You wouldn't have to, like, do anything on the big screen.
Really?
So you could send 2 people off like, hey, you go collect some plants over there, you collect some berries over there, and I'm going to take the main guy and go do something else.
So essentially it does become like one of those bigger real-time strategy games.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes, it does.
In that you can send people out on specific missions.
Yeah.
And are there more Pikmin?
There's more Pikmin. They added a flying Pikmin, a pink one. And they also added a rock Pikmin who kind of supplants the purple ones, but they're projectiles that you can throw at things to break things and to hurt enemies, but they're not awesome fighters. You can just throw them. Mm-hmm. And they open up a whole lot of interesting stuff. This game has some of the best 2-player modes of any game. My wife and I played through the entirety of Pikmin 3 together, and it's like the best gaming experience we've ever had together.
Wait, how? Did you have 2 Wii U gamepads?
So no, just one Wii U gamepad. One person's on the Wii remote, and the other's on the gamepad. And it works out really well because you each have your own screen.
And one is Olimar and one is Louie?
Yeah.
Or one is Captain.
You kind of switch on the fly in the game. So that's Alf.
Alf. Okay.
Yeah. So there's Alf, Brittany, and Charlie. A, B, C.
Okay.
So you get to kind of select which one you're controlling, and you move around. But you both see it, your own version of the world. So it's kind of more like computer LAN gaming, like 2 people playing StarCraft on 2 different machines, but you're both playing in front of the same TV on the Wii U. It worked really well.
So why would you say, are people sleeping on this game? Is it still worth going back and playing Pikmin 3 now?
Yes, Pikmin 3 is one of the best. It's probably in my top 10 of all time. Of all time. It's really good.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, though. I mean, yeah. Wii U gamepad. I mean, that's how you do it, is you build it into the system.
Yep.
I always thought that was funny when, like, there were a lot of games where it's like, here, use the tablet. Like, you know, for example, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Your Sheikah Stone is a Switch.
Yeah.
You know, and I always think it's funny when they put it in. But look at the Wii U gamepad. So this type of thing, what would be happening here?
So it would be looking at a map down and an overhead map, and he's showing it's actually showing what the Wii U gamepad would be looking like on that. You just see it better. But it would show where objectives are, and you could scroll the map using touch and send people places.
This is a major graphics overhaul here.
Yeah.
Now it is SD to HD.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
But
also just the GPU power's a lot stronger.
Well, you can do different things once you up the resolution. Like we can tell if something's in focus and something's out of focus way better. Like you don't have to go as extreme in your iris, or aperture setting, let's say.
It's one of those things where the first game was graphically notable because you had hundreds of tiny things moving on the screen at once. And at the time, Mario 128, a lot of they've said that was almost like a demo that led to Pikmin, showing that you could have lots and lots of things moving independently.
Mm-hmm.
The power of the GameCube.
Yeah.
So
well, that's very interesting. Like the two, I guess you would call them quote unquote failures of Nintendo, being the GameCube and the Wii U, were powerful machines.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wii U less so, I would say, for its time, but the GameCube was on par with everything else out there. It was a little bit stronger than PS2 and roughly with the original Xbox.
Yeah.
The Wii U came out and it was just as strong as the systems that came right before it.
Yeah. It was late to the party for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, well, because what was the Wii's generation? The Wii was up against PS3?
Yes. So it kind of straddled.
Because that was the HD jump.
Yeah.
That Nintendo didn't take, and it benefited from beautifully.
Right. And then
this was the mistake.
Right towards the end of the PS3, Xbox 360 era, they released the Wii U, and they're like, look, it's just as good as those, but then the PS4.
4 and the 1. Yeah. 1?
Yeah, the Xbox
What's
One. This is Minecraft.
Oh, we're in an ad. Sorry about that. So this obviously, I cannot believe this is in your top 10.
Yeah, it's great. I just have these memories with my wife. There's a completely different mode too. They've got the campaign mode, and then there's a whole set of co-op missions that are completely unrelated. Mm-hmm. And the co-op missions are so fun. And it's one of those things where you go through and it'll be like, oh, you beat it. You got a bronze. And you're like, a bronze? Well, I want a gold. How do I get a gold? And then you go back and try it again, and you optimize it with your friend, and it's really fun.
Is there a bad guy in Pikmin 3?
There's not a specific bad guy other than the environment. At the end, you're trying to rescue Captain Olimar, the original Pikmin protagonist,
cool.
And he's captured by this alien, and you're trying to get him back from the alien. But you're not gonna kill the alien.
Can we see it?
Yeah, if we look at Pikmin 3 final boss, he's on there. But yeah, there's not really anything with bad intent. It's just these are wild animals who are trying to eat you. And of course, everything, nothing on this planet, to us, they'd all still be small, but to the Pikmin and to Olimar, they're giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so Pikmin 3, Olimar is not in it. You rescue him at the end. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, and you get to team up with all 3 characters. Oh,
yeah.
I see. So you just go ahead to the end, Dylan.
Yeah, and the levels in this are just really intricate. Really great puzzling, and so you can figure out how to do it, but the second you figure out how to do it, you're like, I feel like I could do that better.
Interesting. Oh, and this is some weird gold creature?
So this is the final boss, is made of this goop, and basically he's got Olimar.
Is this an anti-pollution?
No,
okay.
it's not. Not one of those for once.
Oh, man, look at it.
It's this creepy thing.
It is weird. It's very Metroid-ish.
Yeah, honestly, there is a fair amount. We were talking about this game being really cute, but there's a lot of stuff that's creepy and scary in it too.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the bosses come down and they creep me out. They're giant things with lots of legs and fur. I'm like, I don't want that. No, thank you.
I gotta point it out. We have a female protagonist here.
Yeah, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
She is the second of the ones you find, Alf, Brittany, and yeah. I mean, basically very similar to all the other ones.
I need orders. I've recovered a data file.
Yeah.
We're watching the ending. I'm not sure if we're picture in picture or not. Dylan will hook us up with that if he feels like. But that's interesting.
Yeah,
so this is a game that you prefer to its predecessors, even though it doesn't star the hero of the predecessors.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't like that.
You don't like that? See, to me, like I also in video games.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he was trapped inside the whole time. You finally saved him. When it comes to video games, to me, the story is secondary.
Yeah, you have always said this.
Yeah, like the gameplay is all I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, like this actually got really fun writing. So it is definitely like the story is worth going through for the writing. It's great.
That's wild. He's on the SS Dolphin.
Yeah,
As in the prototype.
for the GameCube.
Yeah, so the GameCube was like what do you call it? Like
The codename.
codename was codename Dolphin when it was being developed. And I remember Project Dolphin, it was like a website and forums, and there was a dolphin that just appeared at the end of Donkey Kong 64 if you beat it, and it would show you a clip of the game they were working on for Dolphin, which would never come to be, Donkey Kong Racing, which is hilarious. But you know, the whole reason we're talking about this though is that now there is at long last. What year was this?
This came out in 2012. I think it's 2012.
You want to look?
2012, 2013.
Pikmin 3 release date?
2013. There we go.
2013.
Yeah. So
Oh my God. And 4 is coming out now, 10
been 10
years
years
later.
Yeah, crazy enough, this is the longest gap between Pikmin releases, between 3 and 4.
God.
Yeah.
So have you played it? Are you looking forward to it? Where are we at in your Pikmin 4 journey?
I haven't played it. I bought it though.
Okay.
I got it from Costco.
As a true business owner.
I got it from Costco yesterday because they were selling for $4 cheaper than MSRP. And I'm saving it. I'm going to flying with my family to Sweden at the end of the month.
Wow.
So I was like, we're gonna have some hours on a plane to kill. Gonna get Pikmin 4. Yeah.
And let's see, 2013, you're playing with your wife, and your daughter is born?
Yeah, she was 1.
She was 1.
Yeah.
And now, so now she's 11, so this is probably right up her alley.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah.
she a Pikmin girl?
You know, she's played it a little bit, but not a ton. She's played a lot of Zelda, but I think Pikmin 4. We'll see if we get her into it.
Here, Dylan, just so not to spoil it, give me the Pikmin 4 trailer, just so we don't accidentally ruin it. So your Sweden trip is boring. Overview trailer, that works just fine. So this was huge when this dropped. I mean, Pikmin. All of the games that lay in wait at Nintendo, I feel like, have huge reactions when the next number is revealed. The most famously that I can remember is Metroid Dread. If you have not seen, and Dylan, I want you to literally Google this and put this in the episode. If you haven't seen Arlo react to Metroid Dread, which was Metroid 5 being released, you have not lived. It is so funny. But anytime the next number comes out. For example, we were talking about Street Fighter 6 on the last episode. When it's a real number, people lose their mind. Yeah. And I feel like they did for Pikmin 4 because I think this was kind of stealth dropped.
Well, no, it was
the
announced.
Release date.
They said they were working on it a long time ago. Like Miyamoto.
This is one of those. See, I'm an idiot.
Said,
this is why we don't do it live because I look like an asshole.
I think it was like 3 years ago. He was like, "Oh, it's basically done. We're just tying up loose ends." And people were like, "Oh, great! It's any day now." And then years later, it's finally out.
Let's take a look at this thing as far as the overview.
Yeah, so in
okay,
this
so right off the rip, we can make our own.
Yeah, you're designing your own character.
Oh, that's cute. You're the newest member of the, what's it called, the Pikmin Corps?
Yeah, the Hockatates is the planet they're from. Hockatate.
Wow. Okay, here's an upgrade.
Yeah. It is pretty amazing to see, like, just graphical fidelity from even, like, the Wii U to the Switch.
Yeah, there's a big difference here, but the beauty of it, I think, is still in the angles. It's still in, we're in a macro lens, and our view of it. What is that?
Creepy thing that'll eat you, I'm sure.
All right. Okay, so this is the big thing that people are freaking out about is there's a puppy.
Yeah, Ochi is a dog thing with 2 legs. Apparently he can bash through things, but people love dog things.
People love dog things. So you can make your own. Oh my God, that is gorgeous.
Lighthearted.
There's the original Pikmin right there. Yeah, I feel like there's a I'm gonna put like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon in this, family of games where it's like it's just gentle.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's a way to like pass the time and be happy. I mean, it seems incredibly de-stressing. Am I wrong about that? Is it stressful?
So it can get stressful, but it's even when it's like, even when it gets really tense, you're still relaxed.
So this is a great game to play before a nap.
Yes.
Or on a plane.
Or on a plane. Yeah, no, exactly. It's just like the environment's going through them is soothing. Even though there's a lot of things trying to kill you, trying to eat you, your little dudes burn up.
Jeez, look at the white Pikmin are scary.
Yeah.
Why?
Rock ones are back. Well, because they're poison.
I think I saw...
The ice ones are new, and they're really cool because they can freeze water, which I can just only imagine for puzzles is going to be really cool.
Well, and you can get rescue pup Ochi
yeah,
probably across ice now. Imagination, my God.
Yeah, and he's like a really strong Pikmin as well. Like he can carry things, break through things.
Is this new? Going in a house?
Yeah, that's new. So this is the first. I'm really wondering about the setting here because in the past we've never seen like human occupation. We've seen fragments of it. But in this one, it looks like, hey, someone lives in this house.
Yeah, but I mean, even like, and it might just be the trailer, but even like the nature itself looks green and beautiful and fun and like, yeah, that's a garden. That's a strawberry. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, is Olimar in this?
I don't know yet.
Interesting.
I'm sure he's in it. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of Nintendo callbacks, and in this one, they're like, "Oh my God, you get a Game Boy Advance."
That's really cool. I mean, well, kudos to Nintendo. You know, thinking outside the box of why don't you, if we're on Earth, let's collect our product, the things that we have. So I expect to see a Game & Watch in there, like we have right there. I expect to see a Pokemon card. That would be a good move.
That would be cool. There was actually product placement in the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like brands, you would pick up their materials and use them to salvage and sell them.
Like real brands?
Real brands.
Like Coca-Cola?
Yeah, like they were selling product placement in the game. And then in subsequent re-releases, they removed that stuff. But a lot of people are like, oh, bring it back.
Yeah.
Like, my nostalgia says it needs to talk about Charleston Chew.
That's right. Okay, so has there ever been a versus mode before?
There has. Called Bingo Battle. This is a Dandori battle. It's a new mode. But yeah, there's versus. Basically, you get to working on the same map who can get the most resources or grow the most Pikmin or fight the most enemies.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of co-op stuff and a lot of competitive stuff, too.
I wonder if there's online in this.
I don't think there's online in Pikmin.
Well, so he just leveled up. Has leveling up always been a part of it?
Nope. This is all new.
Oh, man. So this is like this is a big change.
Yes.
So have people been enjoying Pikmin 4?
Yeah, it's been reviewed very well. People are real into it. It's only been out for 2 weeks, maybe.
What's the Dylan? What's the IGN review for this game? This I knew about. I knew that there was this new nighttime monsters and these new glow Pikmin. I think they saw.
In the past, there was like you have to get off the planet at night because everything gets too dangerous. But now they're like, well, what if you just stayed and fought the dangerous?
Oh, that's the new conceit.
Yeah.
You scroll to the bottom.
Yeah, you're just looking for the number.
Yep, keep going.
Reviewers.
And up. A 9. Okay, so people dig this game. People dig this game.
No, it's been very doing really well, and they're hoping like this again, like that this will bring this into the mainstream, be more of a Nintendo tentpole.
Well, a big help to any gaming franchise is bringing into Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
which I believe they did on the Wii version.
They did.
What was that? Smash Bros.
Brawl. Yeah,
Brawl.
Oh, that was the third one. It was
the third one,
Smash,
and then what was the fourth one called?
It was just called Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and Super Smash Brothers for 3DS, but people just call it Smash 4.
Wow. But Olimar, well, I think in Melee there was a stage. There was a Pikmin level.
There, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because the big whatever that creature is was definitely in it. But Olimar becomes a playable character in the next one, and then has been a mainstay. He's not going anywhere.
No.
It's not going anywhere. But yeah, I like the idea of new Miyamoto ideas. This is probably the latest. Has he done anything since then of creation of a new character?
New characters? No. There's been stuff like Star Fox Zero. That is
that a Miyamoto, John?
yeah, there's very strong Miyamoto, and no one liked it.
Ugh, why?
Yeah, that was on the Wii U as well. But it's one of those games that's unlikely to ever be ported because it was built very much like you need this other screen to move around.
Oh, it was a Wii U. Well, I guess. Oh my God, with that zombie thing.
Nighttime bull orbs.
Yeah, I mean Wii U really left a bad taste in people's mouth, but Switch came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and that's people. I think Nintendo's like, hey, the Switch is probably going to be our top selling console of all time.
Yeah, I think so.
And we're going to give if Pikmin doesn't do good on this, it's not going to do good on anything.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
it's a good point. Especially like I don't know what the numbers are, but I think Switch purchases went through the roof after the Mario Brothers movie came out. Of course.
Which is funny too because they didn't have any direct tie-in to Mario Brothers movie, like in terms of games. It was just
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
But I also kind of like that. A Piklopedia. Is it like a Pokedex?
I guess so.
Gotta be. This is creepy.
Yeah, it's got it's cute but unsettling.
Well, this I'm curious about. How do you do 2-player on the Switch at all? Well, I guess you just take off the sides.
Well,
you can do multi-controls.
Yeah, multiple controls, and it probably goes split screen, or it's like this. But it probably also has a mode where you can connect 2 Switches together, like you could with the old DS and 3DS.
That's a good question. Can you do that?
I know there are a lot of games that let you do that. I was just playing, what's it called? Puyo Puyo Tetris lets you do that. Smash Brothers lets you do that. Connect 2 Switches.
Yeah.
So each person has their own screen. Not that it matters much in Smash Brothers because you all get to see the same thing anyway.
7/21/2023. Okay, that was just recent.
Yep, that was last week.
Wow.
It's
Dylan,
good. Free demo.
Just kind of look up, literally Google, do people like Pikmin 4? And then, so we got this, and then we have, Mario RPG's October. Mario Wonder is
it's October, I
November.
think. I thought it might have been the other way around, but yeah, they're both in the fall.
Pikmin 4 does a wonderful job building on everything the series has established while doing away with some of the tedious aspects. Oh, good question. What are the tedious aspects of Pikmin?
A lot of people didn't, might have been annoyed by the fact that you have a time limit, and once the day is over, you got to pack everything up, fly back into space, and try it again.
Mm-hmm.
But
really, that's just time running out.
Yeah, it's just time running out. Right, but people will be like, well, now I got to do the whole level again.
Yeah, that's
video games.
Back in my day.
Yeah, but some people may find that tedious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the bad? Pikmin is a game that emphasizes resource and time management. It's a game that demands you to multitask if you want to reach the skill ceiling. That's the way Pikmin has always been. I love, and this is, okay, so the bottom of this is exactly what I would kind of go with, where it says, I love Pikmin. I just understand the game isn't for everyone. And I think that's kind of the conceit of this game. I know this one's not for me.
Yeah.
But I would be obsessed with Pikmin lore. I would want to know all the characters. I would want to know the story. I'd want to know what all the little powers are. That's kind of, because I love lore more than any. I was thinking about this because you mentioned this in a previous episode of like Street Fighter 6 lore. Those were the 2 characters in the beginning. I'm like, I am obsessed with video game lore. It's one of my favorite things. There's nothing I love more than those deep dive documentaries on YouTube about games or about game characters or about anything. I gotta watch one on Olimar, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot now. There's 4 games of lore and some side missions and stuff. There's a lot in there.
Do you anticipate a Pikmin 5?
Yeah, there's gonna be another Pikmin. Maybe in 10 more years, but there'll be another one.
Yeah, that's getting old.
Yeah,
the sequel's a 5-year window. I think that's fair.
Well, the people I think who are the most beaten down and most waiting for this, and the people who will freak out the hardest if it's ever announced, the F-Zero people.
Yeah.
There's not been a new F-Zero in quite some time.
You know what would rival that? And no, you're right. It might be the same timeline.
The last F-Zero console came out on the
GameCube.
Yeah.
So Pikmin 1 and F-Zero GP?
F-Zero GX.
GX came out at the same time, roughly.
The same.
When did F-Zero GX come out?
F-Zero GX, I think, came out like a year or 2 later, but the same generation.
Yeah, I'm curious what the time is because the other game that went stagnant for a long time, and I think they're all going to come eventually. Release date
2003.
Wait, GX was. Oh, F-Zero X was on
On the
64.
N64, yeah.
And then GX was on the GameCube in 2003. It has been 20 years.
Yeah.
One of your favorite games also did this. Battletoads went underground for a long time, and then they released the new version of it, 2 years ago?
I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. So that's roughly... can you look up the Battletoads release dates? This is a Dylan-heavy live episode.
And it depends where you're going because, what was the one most recently before that? Was it Battletoads and Battlemaniacs? Or was it Battletoads
and
Double
that's
Dragon?
what I'm looking at. All right. Okay, so 2020, and then scroll down.
So 3 years ago.
Right there. Whoop. Thank you.
Okay.
And Battlemaniacs was 93.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some math. So that went from 93. Scroll up.
So it's 27 years.
Thank you.
27 years.
27 years it took Battletoads to release a new game. And Jesus, 27 years. That's a long time.
Well,
so we might be waiting for F-Zero till 2030.
Well, it didn't have the following. I think F-Zero is more popular than Battletoads ever was.
Yeah.
Like Battletoads was like of its time.
I don't
Very
know.
much.
I think everyone played Battletoads regularly because it was known as one of the hardest games ever, right?
Everyone born in a very specific place.
I can go with that.
Like one generation loved Battletoads.
Yep.
The ones before it and the ones after did not love Battletoads.
Good point.
F-Zero, though, people love that from the Super Nintendo through the N64 through the GameCube.
Yep.
So at least...
So that's us, really.
Yeah.
And now we have money.
Yeah.
Like we're not kids without the ability to spend money.
Right.
Give it to us,
Well, they're doing
there was
that.
also F-Zero. I think didn't they try and do F-Zero in arcades?
There wasn't an F-Zero. It came out the same time as GX. It was called AX, and it was kind of like a sister release.
Uh-huh.
You could bring a GameCube memory pack from your home system, put it in the arcade machine, and kind of trade data back and forth.
Wow.
Which was cool. I never saw one of them,
Yeah,
but I would have loved to have done that.
I mean, in theory, I would say... Yeah, I guess, the Pikmin lovers, you would call yourself a Pikmin lover.
Yeah.
What the question will be, was it worth the wait? Was it worth the wait between 2 and 3?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So 3 and 4, hopefully, that's a 9. That's a pretty good rating. So hopefully you feel the same way, that the wait was worth it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm fine waiting for a good game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's the one thing I don't have is a lack of games to play. Like I've never felt that lack since I turned 21,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, now my backlog starts.
Yeah.
And it's been growing ever since.
Well, it's like if you read comic books, there's always a stack by your desk and it keeps getting bigger, but it stays there,
Well, the one thing
Games
about
are the same way.
comic books, you digest so much faster, I feel.
Well, I think that's the big thing right now is certainly in our lives, we don't have the time we used to be able to invest into games.
Yeah.
But also games got really big.
Yes.
I have no earthly concept how people play things like Skyrim. What? Zelda. I'm having a blast in. I just finished the first boss.
Nice.
But I'm all about the map. But there's games that are much, much bigger. These JRPGs and things like that are massive.
Yeah.
And then there's the idea of the never-ending games, that keep getting updates and things. Things I don't understand. Well, actually, here's why I'm not a Pikmin guy, is also for the same reason I'm not like a Lost Planet guy. That just seems crazy to me. Because there's not even like things to do, right?
Well, I don't even know. I don't know a ton about Lost Planet.
So all I know is like the assumption is nothing's there.
Mm.
Whereas in Pikmin, at least there's things to like interact with and stuff. And that's probably the original Lost Planet.
Yeah. And it's amazing, just the different, the one person will play something like Steve's really big into Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny's got lots to do, big world. You fight with people, you team up with people, and they have so many raids and missions. There are some people, Like, I look at them like, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
But then there's the diehards who are on it. They're like, you guys haven't released a new content drop in months. There's nothing to do. I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs. It's just like, so people.
There's other games.
There is like a time differential between different people's lives.
Yeah.
And, when you have, people you care about, you got family, you got a business, like you have less time for games.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I think some people, like, either they don't work or they got like a strict 9 to 5er.
Yeah.
9 to 5, don't have a family. Then
Punch out.
Yeah.
Gaming.
Well, what do I do from 5 to midnight when I go to bed? Well,
yeah.
I'm going to spend that whole time playing a game.
That's funny that you did 5 to midnight because the assumption is they wake up at 8 o'clock and then go right to work.
Yeah.
Gamers. You're beautiful people. I love you. I'm Mario's always had it, I think, on their release dates. You're always craving a new Mario when they release a new Mario, but it's just the start. You don't have to wait too long, right? I mean, Galaxy 2 to Odyssey was not... Well, actually, I wonder how long that was. Couldn't have been more than 5 years.
Well, it jumped... it's between 2 different platforms. So, Galaxy 2 was on the Wii.
About Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U was in the middle. And then Switch came out with Odyssey, I think, within the first year of its launch.
You're right. It was Super Mario Bros. Wii U.
Yeah.
Like Super Mario Bros. U, I guess, was the Mario game
Mario
on Wii U.
Yeah, which was a 2D side-scroller.
And also an update to...
Mario Brothers.
New
Super Mario Brothers Wii and New Super Mario Brothers and that whole series.
So it was a sequel. So I guess there you go. I mean, you're saying the reason to get a Wii U is not for the Mario sequel, not for the Zelda sequel that isn't there, but for the Pikmin sequel.
Yeah, it was great on the Wii U. And I think it's still the best way to play it. Like, if you don't have a Wii U, play it on Switch. It's great. I hear it's a great port.
Mm-hmm.
But I would miss the gamepad on that, to be honest. Yeah. So if you have a Wii U and you haven't played Pikmin 3, you should do that. Please.
I think that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for joining us for Tubby Talk Live. I'm Terry Leahy. This is YUNKJunk.
I'm Chris McGuire.
And if you haven't done so, make sure you find your way over to the Tubby Robot Ice Cream Factory and get yourself one of their famous ice cream hoagies. And maybe if we all pray, Chris will come up with a Pikmin-looking sprinkle, or Jimmy, as we say, and invite us into a new Pikmin world in Tubby Robot Ice Cream Factory.
Who knows what the future holds?
That's right. We should make something that's kind of like that. Like, let's do some sort of macro lens, like ice cream related thing. Can you make one of those creatures out of ice cream?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, no promises. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Tubby Talk.
Bye, guys.
YUNKJunk!